What is
What's your definition? What's your definition of soulmate?
That's what I'm asking you. What's a soulmate?
That's your question. That's for you. That's why
So to my understanding, it's like somebody that you are just you're meant to be with. They're like this perfect match for you. You're their perfect match for them, and all this other crystal rubbing, moon gazing, chakra, incense burning type of stuff.
What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg, joined my co-host Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
Couple things on my mind. One, Ferg, here in Texas. Guys made the news once again down there on y'all border with I guess some horseback riding agents with whips trying to corral some Haitian refugees there. I just wanted to know, as a Texan, I felt like you should speak first. So, you got any thoughts on horse riding agents corralling people?
What is there to say besides that's fucking stupid?
Here's the more serious question. Everybody in the administration says how appalled and how disgusted they were by the images, right? Has anybody gotten fired?
Not that I know of.
Okay, that's what I'm waiting on, because other than that, they're just empty words. I don't care how outraged you are. Is anybody gonna pay for it? If not, then say me your words.
It's hopes and prayers, right?
yeah, it
hopes
is.
And prayers.
Yeah. So I got that. That's the most serious thing that's on my mind. And the other thing is, white people tired of our shit, man. I just read an article before the show started recording. I was talking to Jason about it, but apparently the residents of Buckhead in Atlanta, 54% of them are considering seceding from the city of Atlanta, which would hurt the city of Atlanta because they lose access to that tax base, that tax revenue. So, white people, once again, you won't let us have our president. Okay, you keep on pushing this whole affirmative action and stuff. We sick of it. Just separate us from y'all. So those are two things I got, man. I guess both racial, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're in a post-racial society, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah. So
is this because of slavery?
This too is because of slavery. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. It reminded me of your topic a couple of weeks ago too, Rozzy. When
time out. Byron, is that a McDonald's award behind you?
Oh, you picked that,
huh? Bro, we always said you were Calvin, bro.
Listen, that is my employee of the month right there, baby.
Will you get a Lifetime Achievement Award?
I thought it was too small for y'all to notice.
You still have it. Still have it, though. That's the funny part.
Yes, man. I'm proud of that award, dog.
Dale Shims gave us nothing.
McDonald's, you're welcome to sponsor us. See?
I know, right?
We have long-standing employees of the month on the show.
Hey, man. I was back there hustling. Shout out to Azalea Road McDonald's in Mobile, Alabama. Yeah. If you went to Davidson School,
gave you your first job.
You probably saw me. Yeah. Yep. Got me by the Nissan Stanza with 80 spokes. Was it 88 spokes? How many spokes I had on them? Anyway, I had Rams and Beats. So thank you, McDonald's.
Yeah, the Stanza.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it helped us pay for so many parties and setouts with your salary.
Yeah, I'm
glad you used, the contribution of your salary.
Very good.
Was
very
huge
very good,
for us.
Rozzy. Very good. That's all I got, man. That's all I got, man.
What about the complimentary? We're not talking about the complimentary food or beverages?
No, not what you speak, sir.
Okay.
Nope.
Rozzy, what do you have for us?
They contributed to our nice Christian organization. So, yeah, there's that.
Strong, wise, and talented.
So, the only thing I got, man, is Marvel maybe having a huge shakeup because they may actually lose some of the rights, or at least partially lose some of the rights to their characters. So they're suing a lot of the descendants or families of their artists that made folks like Iron Man, Black Panther, like Stan Lee's family, Mike Ditka's family, or Steve Ditka. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah. Mike is a coach.
Mike Ditka is
he's a football player. Yeah. So, but they're suing their families for rights to the characters because after so long, the characters can revert back to the original artists, and Marvel isn't feeling that because then they'd have to share credit, they'd have to share pricing, they have to pay them to be able to use the likenesses of Iron Man and all these folks. And so it's a huge, huge deal, and it can really change the landscape of a lot of artists that are for hire. So if you are an artist for a company or whatever, if you are not full-time on staff and you're paid per page, if you're paid per item or whatever, this can actually set precedent to like how much ownership you have of your characters. So Marvel is saying that because we paid them per page and we paid them when they created these characters, they're our characters because we have had creative control. We told them what to do with it and everything, and they just brought it to life. And the artists and their families are saying, no, our ancestor, whoever it is, created these characters out of their head, and then you guys just wrote stories around them. And so it's going to be an interesting fight. I'll keep you guys updated on it. I'm really interested to see how it goes because, again, going back to it being all about me, I don't like if the right thing is for the artist to get their credit, but the capitalist in me and the Disney shareholder in me says that we need to keep that in house so we can keep that money going. So we'll see how it goes, but it was pretty interesting for me.
That capitalist in you be kicking your ass all the time, Razi.
It do. That's my new. You remember we were in Afghanistan. You always talked about it being the white kicking up in my ass, but I'm just gonna say capitalist.
Those two completely different scenarios. So, two things. First of all, did you guys catch the Wonder Years Wednesday?
I did it. I wasn't really super excited about it anyway. Not even gonna lie. I hear it's pretty good, but I'm tired of them when they reboot stuff instead of at least bringing it up to current day, or the Wonder Years were set 30 years ago from when it came out, right, in the 90s, because it was set in the 60s. So I would have much rather seen it set in the 90s or the early 2000s.
Why were those the Wonder Years? I think the Wonder Years I think that was the premise behind it. It's just like this time period, that the golden years when life was so simple and all this stuff was really going on, and that's the concept of the Wonder Years.
Who?
But that's everything's always we romanticize about the 90s and 80s. There's always somebody struggling. So they're saying, hey, we're taking this concept of these Wonder Years and putting people in place and building stories around that. And this one, that For Who, is exactly what you're saying. So it's the first episode. There's a lot of racial tension that was left out. It was things going on and saying, hey, but things were still so simple, but there were still things going on. So I think it's a concept. It's not really a remake. To me, it's more so, here's a concept of this time period. Let's show it from a different lens. Give it a chance. And
Okay.
Buff, I know you didn't watch the original, so I'm pretty sure you didn't watch this one either. Okay. Well, I advise listeners give it a chance. It was a good show. It doesn't have the nostalgia of the old one, just because I was a kid when it came out in 1988 or whatever. So being an adult, but they hit on things and you get it a lot more as an adult. Some of the childhood things, even with the main character, I can relate to him. I can pretty much relate to him. His name is Dean Williams in the show, but it's not awkwardness, but it's his fight to kind of fit in a post-racial, when you're at that age where you're trying to figure things out. So watch the first episode. We'll talk about it maybe one day. My second thing is, I think Buff or Rise, one of you guys posted it. our prayers have been answered. They're hearing our thoughts because Aunt Jemima ain't no more. You know, it's all you said we're in a post-racial society. Well, apparently because the Pearl Milling Company have decided to take all those black prayers and tears and turn them to something great and take Aunt Jemima off the syrup bottle and change the name because
what did they change
Aunt Jemima
it to?
too was Pearl Milling Company.
Okay.
Which was the original name for their company or whatever. So they just made it Pearl Milling Company Syrup or whatever. Lamest name in the world.
Yeah.
So
you guys gonna go buy some Pearl Milling syrup?
I mean, I like their syrup, so I went and bought some, but it's a sad day in this world. Like, I would much rather them have just remade it, made her look more like an auntie of today instead of.
And what does that look like?
I don't know, Angela Bassett off of Black Panther. Like, hey, auntie. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it could have been anything.
Okay.
It's just, something more than, and they already had done it. So if you remember the original Aunt Jemima was a mammy caricature.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they revamped it and they made her a little bit more, I guess, traditional, just look like a black woman. But I don't get why they felt the need to change it. Like, nobody was screaming, this is it right here. This is our hill that we're going to stand on, and we got to fix this.
So in case, are you still buying Aunt Jemima?
Well, we don't really use, I hate you asking me this. I pretty much use like maple syrup. I don't do the commercial syrup like that.
So you use real maple syrup?
Yeah.
Like in a glass bottle?
Yeah.
Like,
and we don't like, and like my daughter doesn't even like syrup on her pancakes, so we don't even like buy syrup that much.
What do you put on pancakes if you're not putting syrup on them?
She just eat them how they are. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of dry.
Hey, well, not our pancakes. Hey, we make them to where you don't need syrup.
Blueberries and
yeah.
But yeah, maple syrup.
Y'all
syrup
don't get the complete ones where the just add water. Y'all have to like put the eggs in there.
No.
And all that.
Nah, ain't nobody got time for that, dog. It's just add
so
water.
You do just add water. Yeah. So no, they dry. Yeah. They dry, bro.
Well,
let's get to it.
Wait.
Yeah.
Can I say?
Well, you ain't gonna talk about jazz, so I'm gonna let her make it.
Yeah.
But
maple syrup for me though.
Yeah, you're not better than us though.
No, I'm not.
I feel like people who eat real stuff, the artificial shit is better. You probably eat real cranberry sauce too, huh?
No, you know what? Cranberry sauce, the can is better than the real. I'm sorry. That's one of the few things where the fake is better than the real.
Do you get the can with the actual whole cranberries in it, or you just want the whole gel?
I want the junk to just plop out, and it got the can imprints in it. Yeah, that's what I want.
Those are cut here to mark, so you know where to cut it.
Where to cut? Yeah.
Yes. He's exactly right.
But in case people are listening, I think they got our wishes wrong. We could care less about you changing Aunt Jemima. We just want you to get rid of the lady from Popeyes. That's who you need to get rid of.
What? Wait, the new lady from Popeyes?
The Tyler Perry auditioning character, like she should be on the Tyler Perry movie.
I like her.
You never miss an opportunity to take a shot at Tyler Perry, though.
You would
never
like her.
miss an opportunity.
She is one step away from Jerry Rice putting the chicken on his helmet.
Oh, God. That was so sad, man. That was so
You're
sad.
defending the Popeyes? I don't know.
I like the new Popeyes lady.
Oh.
I'm just saying. The new Popeyes lady is
shucking
cool.
and jiving, bro. Oh, my God. All she needs to wear is a bandana or a bonnet on the next commercial.
Does she shuck and jive? I thought she just pretty much say, "Come try my chicken." Maybe I need to pay more attention to their commercials. I didn't think she was.
Yeah, exactly. She has an over the top thick New Orleans accent. You could tell that's not her natural accent.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
Shucking and jiving.
I pay more attention to it.
No, it's just a bad accent.
Now KFC had commercials with brothers actually shucking and jiving. Like them losers was dancing and it was terrible. It was awful.
Yep.
Y'all can get rid of her too. 86. So what's up? Where is my young, beautiful goddaughter?
She's outside jumping on the trampoline. So y'all got me today. But it's cool. I think I got a good one. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna use this one. So y'all want to know the difference between a man and a margarita? A margarita hits the spot every time.
I remember where you got that joke from. Okay, it's yeah.
It was funny on paper, right?
Yeah. Cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
I gotta use it. Shout out, to every. I'm trying to use the ones that everybody sends in to us. So
to you.
Yeah.
They're helping you. It's like it's like feed a child. It's like you like a make a joke thing. Like they kind of give you, they donate jokes to you, bro.
That's funny.
It's a joke Make a Wish Foundation. Make a Joke Foundation. That's what the Make a Joke Foundation.
You too can donate to Razzie's Joke Fund. Alrighty. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go into it. Razzie, you didn't get a question last week, so I want you to go ahead and kick it off for us.
All right, cool. Let's see. We got progress reports, or not progress reports, but we had our parent-teacher conferences last week or whatever, and they did send like a interim progress report for the kids and everything. And I looked at how often Sophie and Ollie had missed school, because I'm not on this whole you got to go to school all the time, yada, yada, yada. Like, if you're not feeling it, if you're not feeling up to it, I'll weigh the options or whatever. But I remember growing up and perfect attendance was like the thing. Like, you had to have perfect attendance. Like, that was a big, big deal. So I wanted to ask you guys your thoughts and how you kind of decide, do you celebrate perfect attendance, and how do you decide when you're going to let the kids stay home or not?
Nah, we don't celebrate. I don't think Jasmine I'm not sure she's ever had it anyway. For those that don't know, she's like, especially when she was much younger, she was diagnosed with RSV, which is a respiratory thing, and she later was diagnosed with asthma. So in her early years, she would have to miss days when it became very severe. And now she's gotten better with that, but she missed days at school to go to Miami with me. So and listen, I do take her attendance seriously. Like, I hate when she has to miss school. Not so much to get perfect attendance. I just don't want her to miss out on, her learning and things like that in school. So I always want her to be, up to date with the rest of the students, and just giving her the best, I guess, opportunity to succeed. So when she misses school, I think it's a much bigger deal to me than it is Tabitha. I'm like, so it has to be a great reason why she misses. I know I just said she missed for going to Miami with me, but I mean, that was like a one-time thing. And plus, we was doing virtual schooling back then, so she didn't miss too much. But we don't really celebrate it. Even if she gotten it, I don't know how much we would celebrate it. But on the flip side, I do take her attendance very seriously, and she misses it only when she like really has to, 99% of the time.
Yeah, we don't celebrate perfect attendance. I don't even know if Sky's ever got. Well, she's in first grade, but it's not about perfect attendance for me. It's about she has obligation to go to school, in my opinion, and she's going to uphold that obligation, just like Byron, unless there's a good reason not to go. I don't want to just teach them like, I don't feel like going today, so you're just not going. That's just, in my house, that doesn't fly, because life doesn't work that way. Like, you just can't I don't want to do it. And you can get away with it sometimes. And I want them to understand when it's like, just like working. If there's you work hard, you play hard. If you really earn it, then yeah, you take off those days. You do it. Your job gives you so many days or whatever the case may be, but just, yeah, I'm not going in today. Especially as a kid, I feel like if you had that option, when would you ever want to go in? But I don't know. Byron, I feel like you got a rebuttal.
No, I was gonna say, so Razi, are you saying like if our kids came to us and just had like a legit reason why they don't want to go? Like we as adults,
yeah.
I know I take mental health days here and there. So are you saying like if your child came to you and just said, listen, today, and they don't make a habit of it, will we let them? Is that like the
that's kind of the question. Yeah. So because that's what I say. No, Ferg, I agree. It's not going to be, oh, I just don't want to go randomly. And okay, cool, you don't have to go. I mean, I fight with Ollie every single morning that he got to go. He says I don't want to go every morning, so it's not like that's unusual. So, but there have been days where like he's literally like broken down and cried that like he just did not want to go. Like it was like my stomach hurts. Like and for kids who can't explain anxiety and stuff like that, like that's one of the things that presents itself is they'll say my stomach hurts or whatever, and that is a big sign of childhood anxiety. So like those are the days that I'm like, all right, we'll take a day off, let's figure this out or whatever. So I have he's done one or two of those over the last 2 years. So not like Buff said, it's not every weekend, every week or whatever, but there has been a couple days that I've given him that mental health break of, all right, let's talk through this. What's going on? Is there something happening at school that's causing you to be so anxious or whatever? As well as, no, if you've got a test or something like that, then because I'm want to teach them to be responsible with it, with that mental health. Like you can't just be like, you can't bail on your friends or whatever. You can't be like, oh, I don't want to go. It's the same thing with sports, right? The kids will be like at a game day and like, oh, I don't want to play today. I'm like, no, you got to play. Your teammates are, dependent on you. You got to show up. You got to play, type thing. So, but I don't celebrate perfect attendance for just what we said. I don't want to teach my kids that if you are sick, if you are beat down, you still grind through and go in. Because too often that's what we do, right? We go in and we'll be sick and we'll power through it. And then, we just get more and more tired, more and more grind. Like it gets to the point where people have nervous breakdowns at work. People, again, talking through teaching our kids how to be adults. That really is our ultimate goal, right? Is I'm not just trying to raise you and get you through the days. I'm really trying to teach you how to be an adult and wade through the decision points of, do I go in? Do I power through this? Am I sick? Do I just have a cold and I can take some medicine and I can go ahead and go to school? Or is it bad enough that I need to stay out because I don't want to get my friends, coworkers sick? I don't want to, go through that. So for me, no, I don't celebrate perfect attendance at all. I don't even care. We don't talk about it. And, if there are certain days where we have to take it and you don't have to be deathly ill to take a day. I'm cool with that.
That's better explained, because when you opened up, you were saying like, you were looking at how many days the kids missed. Like they were like missing 7, 8, 9 days in the last,
No, they've missed like 3 days and like 2 of them were COVID scares. So, like, where I had to bring,
so when you said it, it's kind of a thing like, well, they didn't want to go to school, so I just let them take off Thursday and Friday. I'm like, okay, because I'm like you, being an ex-athlete and just being in the military and even a lot of things I've done in my life where other people depend on you, or you're supposed to be, you have not an obligation, but a duty to do certain things. I want them to be able to know what's, just not a good day, or this is my day and I just need to, I'm done. Because just like in sports, you hear people say, are you hurt or are you injured? Like if you're playing sports, you're going to be hurt. If you're playing a contact sport or you're running, there's going to be days where you just, like most of the time, you're going to be hurt. It's, can you play through, or are you injured? Do you really need to take a step back? Because like you were saying with the cold, hey, you're going to have a cold. My son's 2. He lives in a cold. Like that's just where he's at. His nose is always running. He's always sneezing. He's always coughing. That's just going to be, he's 2, But there's days when he's super lethargic and we're like, okay, what's going on with TJ? Let's call the doctor. Let's do this, because he's outside of his norm. And I want them to understand that, because as adults, you need to to me, you have to understand how to fight through certain things without breaking yourself. Just because I'm tired and I don't want to go to work today is not the day that I'm tired and don't want to go to work any day, really, So it's, I need this mental health day. I know a lot of schools are looking at mental health days for kids. I think they're starting looking at high schoolers, really, because they kind of have a more understanding of their mental status, rather than just a 5, 6, 7-year-old who just like you said, Ali doesn't want to go to school every day. But maybe they need to start there too, so that's a very interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Has Ali pointed out a reason or two why he just doesn't want to go?
No, his whole thing is it's boring, and so those are the days that I make him go. When he's just like, it's boring. I only like PE or whatever. But I usually gauge when they come home after school. I'm asking, how was today or whatever, and he usually says, yeah, I liked it or whatever. If he comes home and it's like, wasn't a good day at school, that's when I really get into the, okay, why? Tell me about it or whatever. And a lot of times, even with that, it's something that was harder for him. And he was like, this thing was super hard. And so it's kind of bothering him that he doesn't know it or he's not picking it up or whatever. And so that's when, we sit down and we talk through whatever it was and we go over it and we review his work from school that day and that type of thing to really make him feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So I think it's him just being harder on himself than he needs to be. And trying to take personal accountability, but at the same time being 6 years old and not knowing how to do that. So nothing in particular, like it's, a certain thing, no bullies or anything like that, or feeling alone, because that, for bullying, it doesn't necessarily have to be active bullying. Sometimes it could be just not playing with kids and alienating them. And so I make sure that, and I've talked to the teachers and they're like, no, all he's social. He has friends and everything. So I always ask him about his friends and, who he played with that day, that type of thing as well. So just kind of thinking through each day, taking it one day at a time, but no, nothing in particular that he's kind of brought up.
Cool.
Good. Buff, you got a question or you want me to go?
I have a question, but
okay, let's hit it. It's up to you guys.
Well, Razi started off talking about Marvel at the top of the show. So I'm going to talk about their distant cousin, DC. And a comment that Tabitha actually made, that when she first said it, I was like, but then I kind of understood where she was coming from and wanted to see what you guys thought about it. So the current show on HBO Max now is Titans. And I know you guys will correct me if I'm wrong, but so originally Starfire is a white girl in the comics. Like, she's different. She's been different colors, right? Like she's been white.
Yeah, she's orange technically. Yeah. So she's an alien and she's orange, but people put her in the white category. Like they assume she's white. So
Tabitha didn't like that. She doesn't care for Starfire being played by a black woman on Titans. And at first I'm like, the hell is wrong with you? Black girl, magic, black. But she was like, no, there are so many other black characters that they could use. Just highlight them. We shouldn't be taking, I guess, historically white characters and trying to make them black. I know they were at one time talking about James Bond being Idris Elba and things like that. So I just want to get you guys' opinion on that as far as, taking known white characters and just making them black to give us, I guess, some type of equality. That should we just be highlighting characters that, because I think DC has a character named Vixen. That's a black woman. They have other black characters that we could give shine to and just highlight them instead of trying to change.
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, we didn't start this. Cleopatra does not look like Liz Taylor. That's always the argument. So they've been doing this since the beginning of time. I mean, they've had white people play Indians or Native Americans. Like, it's just so
Mexicans,
name it, Asians, name it. So I have no remorse. We're not appropriating their culture. These are fictional characters, people. Fictional characters. Somebody has an idea of a person or something in their mind.
Well,
and they say,
well, don't just say it's fictional because we flip out if George Clooney played Black Panther.
because the thing about it, it's because of where he's supposed to be at. Like if you have this prince of an African nation being played by George Clooney, that's one thing. Starfire, go back to the original. Starfire is an alien who was orange. They whitewashed her on Teen Titans, and all of a sudden, she can't be black. I get it. Starfire, her character is really... She's calmed down a little bit. In the beginning, she was really irritating to me with the hair and everything like that. But these are fictional characters, and you have to think, at the time people were making these characters up, it was dominated by white culture. It was taboo to put a black character in certain roles. You weren't going to get the support. So I think it's more of writing the situation, saying, hey, let's make these characters diverse. The fact that Beast Boy is Asian, right? He's not Asian in the original comics. I think they're trying to show diversity in these. Why does Beast Boy have to be a white boy? Why does this alien have to be a white girl? Why does this why? It's challenging the norms and saying 10 years from now, if Titans is going on, they remake the comics based off of this show, and Jasmine's drawing Starfire, could 10 years from now Starfire just be known as a black woman? The same reason they're remaking all these Batmans and Batgirls and Robins. They're creating different, they're, I guess, trying to, I don't say right their wrongs, because I think they was just so monotonous of what all these characters were. It's like, hey, we have this plethora of characters. Let's change it. Even with Vixen was like to me, Vixen is more of a cliche. Like this African, like she's tied into this African godlike thing. And dude, it's like every black character does not have to be tied to Africa or be some bad from jail. Starfire is one of the most powerful, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Like she's probably the most powerful Titan. Her and Raven kind of go back and forth, but she's one of the most powerful people in the DC universe. And to be a princess from another planet, to me, that's empowering.
Yeah, and I like how Titans is doing it, because they didn't just make Starfire black. They essentially said all Tamaranians are black. So all of them, Blackfire's in this season. So all Tamaranians are black in the show. So that's kind of cool that, they're saying, I mean, they're like first, they're aliens. So who's to say that they just didn't all become black? And I think there's a fine line of, if there is something about that person's color or background that makes them inherently white, Black Panther being black makes sense, right? It's from an African nation, yada, yada, yada. Or
even James Bond,
KG Beast or whatever being Russian, that type of thing. So there are certain roles that you're like, okay, that person probably needs it because it's a part of their character. Which makes sense. If you're coming from Scandinavian royalty, what was his name on the Winter Soldier? Baron Zemo.
Yeah.
So
Thor.
Like that makes sense that he's going to be white, right? Because he probably descended from the royalty, that aristocracy. They weren't going to let a black person get in that aristocracy, so it made sense for him to be white. So there are certain characters that I would be offended or say that it didn't make sense for them to race bend, but same with Clark Kent. I feel like you can't race bend Clark Kent because that is a part of his identity. He's such an ingrained person in American iconography and everything that it would be weird to try to say, okay, I'm going to make a black person, grow up in Kansas with white parents in the 60s and it be cool or whatever. So I feel like I agree with Tabitha on, there are certain stories that we need to tell before we start trying to gender bend or race bend some of these other characters. I would much rather see a Static Shock show than them make a Black Superman show. Even if they go the Val Zod role, which is a Black Superman, it's already in the comics, so they have a Black Superman already. And that's the other part about it, is a lot of people not knowing the comics, and when they hear things like, "Oh, there's a Black Spider-Man," they're like, "No, it isn't." I'm like, Miles Morales has been around for like 20 years, or it's like there's been a Black Spider-Man for a long, long time. And so people have to just understand that if you're not really into the comics and they say that they're doing these things, like you said, Ferg, they're righting a lot of the wrongs. They're making it more inclusive, more diverse. If it doesn't really matter for the character itself, then it doesn't really matter. Like I think James Bond is another one that I feel like they should probably have it white. The 007 moniker could kind of roll over, right? Because that's a code name, but the name I feel like should kind of stay the same. But I don't know. I don't know if that's his real name or not. He could be James Bond, could be his code name, and he has a real name, and so anybody can be James Bond based on whoever is sitting in the 007.
But they would have to write that into the script.
They just write that in the script and be like, here's, we're going to retcon this a little bit, and here's what it is. So I can see them doing that, and it'd be just fine. Because that's the other part about it, is all British people aren't white. They're Black British people. They're Black.
But they're also going to,
people
as an international spy, is easier to fit in. Well, I guess the places they're going. The places they go, like now they're having things going on in South Africa or someplace like that, which it could be a spin on the Bond series. But with going back to Titans, Byron, I think it was a marketing move, just because you want inclusivity. If they just had another show where everybody was white, you're going to get some people to watch it, but it's still going to be, it's not a show, not our show. And then I think you slowly introduce Black characters more into the DC universe. So you got right now popular, you have Titans, and you have Starfire, and then you have
what, the whole Arrowverse?
No, the Cyborg. So I think they're trying to build their Black cast, because just like Black Panther, I don't think would have been Black Panther without appearing in a few shows first, building his, okay, he's cool, rather than out of the blue you just drop a Black Panther movie. So I think they might be building up their Black cast. Maybe they can do a spinoff when Vixen shows up or Static Shock shows up, and now you can spin that off. But you have to have, you got to start somewhere.
To take pieces from both of your answers, I think in part of your answers you used the word remorse for. I want to be clear. She wasn't arguing this because some Black woman took a white person's role. It has nothing to do with remorse. Her thing is, okay, instead of doing Titans, do a show featuring your Black heroes. She just, and a lot of this does come from neither one of us knowing that much about comics and how they go so many different directions than what the popular characters go. Like, I think there's an Asian version of Asian version of Superman. I know there's a gay version of Captain America. These comics do all types of things, and a lot of that is we don't really know that much about comics. But her thing was, instead of doing that, do a show that's featuring your Black characters if you want that inclusivity, like you said.
But I don't think they sell yet. You have to build them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, would that show be successful if they just dropped a Black character show that really nobody like? Icon, if they do it Icon is one of the best Black DC characters.
If you think about it, if you guys have said yourself, like the Avengers were like the lower tier of Marvel. The first movie that the MCU started out with was Iron Man. They just dropped him in there. They didn't build him up by using the X-Men and plopping him in one of the movies. So if you do it right, you can drop it in there without any buildup.
But you're talking about a white dude that the world will support. The world's gonna, as a white character, you always have a chance. I feel like they couldn't start the Marvel universe with Black Panther, just because it had to slowly be like, okay, white dude, Iron Man, I've kind of heard of him. Captain America, I've kind of heard of him. You lull him to sleep. Vixen, Titan the Teen Titans and the Titans are one of the most well-known DC genres. Especially they've had kids movies, kids cartoons, all this stuff. So you play off of that. You build where you're strong and then go from there. I agree they need to make more shows, but I think they had to start somewhere, and that was the most logical place to start.
It was the safest.
Yeah, okay.
They didn't have to start there. I mean, I agree,
right.
but if they could have just said, I'm going to make an awesome movie about this black character, and hopefully it catches on and we can build from it.
I mean, the only reason I reject you guys is because we saw how successful Blade was. Black character, no build up, boom. So if it's done right, you can start with it. I'm not going to sell black people short and say you can't start with them. But I'll say this because I understand where she's coming from. But I'll just say, as long as it's good, as long as it works, I'm good with it. Like if you want to do a black Superman, it better be good. Because it better be good. If not, I'm going to say you shouldn't have did that.
It's DC, and DC's had enough flops, so they have to play. You got to think. When Blade dropped, there was nothing to compare it to, right? We were just looking for some action flick. If you dropped a black, you got the Arrowverse, the whole thing. You got all these superhero movies and characters, and you drop in somebody nobody really knows. Iron Man was the beginning of something new. That was right after the X-Men started coming out. And hell, even the X-Men to a certain extent have flopped. But because they're the X-Men, they're able to build off of it.
Not Marvel's fault, by the way. That was Fox.
Yeah. So, man, that's some good points though. And I think it's timing. I think it's too dangerous now in this superhero world that we live in. But
like I was saying, like Roger said, a lot of it is we don't know the comics. So we don't know what they're talking about.
So that's the thing.
But that's generally, that's the general audience that like there's a lot of people that don't know the comics that love the movies. Mm-hmm. So
and so you got to support, unless you want to do a cult classic. And you make a black Superman movie that just the real Superman hero. I mean, the real comic heroes are gonna love. I mean, comic lovers are gonna love. It's tough. Like you got to go with what's gonna sell. I got to play it safe.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, Ferg? What you got?
So this is a weird question. So Z celebrated her birthday this week, so we went out for Wednesday, and then we went out again this weekend. And so she asked me this question. I really want you guys to kind of think about it because your answer might be very short in the beginning, but go into deeper and explain why. She said, "Do you believe in soulmates?" So I'm gonna ask that, and then depending on how you answer, I have a follow-up question.
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Wasn't expecting that.
So why no?
What's
your definition? What's your definition of soulmates?
That's what I'm asking you. What's a soulmate?
That's your question. That's for you. That's why
So to my understanding, it's like somebody that you are just you're meant to be with. They're like this perfect match for you. You're their perfect match for them, and all this other crystal rubbing, moon gazing, chakra incense burning type of stuff that people
piss me off.
people believe in. I reject it. I think you meet people because of certain circumstances, and you could pass right by. You could have went to elementary, middle school, and high school with your soulmate and never said a word to them. If that was your soulmate, you would have. I just don't believe in it. I just think things happen and they happen.
What about you, Rising?
That's a hard one. I do think there are soulmates out there, but not that romanticized TV soulmate, like where, I see we gaze into each other's eyes and, we instantly click and everything is right in the world. We don't have any problems and we love each other. Like we love everything about each other and all that stuff. Like that soulmate is not real. I do think there are people, and the other part about it, I don't think there's only one soulmate for you. That's the weird part about it. I do think there are people that really align with you, your energy, how you feel, like Byron said, the chakras and all that stuff. But I do feel like there are people that you vibe with and like can really get deeper than just friends. Not to be gay, no, but you guys are soulmates for me. Like, so I feel like there can be soulmates on a friendship level. There's soulmates on a sexual level. There's soulmates on like there are people that come into your life and y'all just click. And so those lifelong friends, not the fair weather friends, not the ones you met and y'all talk and laugh and joke and then y'all go about y'all business. But there are people that I mean, just say God put in your life to be like, okay, this person's going to be there for you through thick and thin, no matter what. And y'all going to have fallouts and you're going to have to work on it and all of that. But this it was put in there for a specific reason and to be there for you. And so, yes, I agree. I do think soulmates are real. It's just not the TV thing that everybody tries to make it out to be.
Wow, Raz, you stole so much of my thunder. So almost word for word, I agree with you. Like, I don't believe in soulmates in the traditional sense. And it's, of course, when I said that, Z looked at me like, oh, elaborate. So I feel like I think there's multiple people out there that there is, and this is kind of going off of what Byron was saying. I feel like I do believe in energy. I feel like there's certain people out there where you guys have this energy that when it gets together, you connect, right? Because I don't believe that, like you said, your soulmate could be in elementary, middle school, and high school with you, and you never speak to them. You miss out. But your soulmate, and this traditional soulmate, could be on the other side of the world. What are the chances of meeting some 5'2" Asian chick that stays in Thailand that's your real soulmate? Who knows? So my thing is, I feel like there's certain people where there's energies that connect. And depending if those energies come together, you're able to produce more. Like, I feel like Z is my soulmate. Like, because not in like the overly romantic yada, yada, yada. It's like, I feel like when our energies are together, we create more to the point where others see it. Like, I think our energies come together, and when they say soulmate, I think of when you mate to create more, right? That's the point of mating. So when our energies are together, we create more, and other people see it. They see our energy. They can feed off of it. Like, even like Razi said, my follow-up question is, can you have a soulmate on a non-sexual, non-intimate level where you have friends, where we all have friends that we're cool with those. That's my dog. But there's certain people in your life, when you get together, like, you create more. Like, even with this, people know us as the three brothers now. Like, when we get together, we have fun, our energy. Even when we were in Miami, even when we go to Mobile, like, when the three of us get together, to me, there's a connection. Razi, you and I, like, for the years, it's Ferg and Razi and Ferg. Like, we were almost one person to a lot of people. Like, when I was in Mobile, I couldn't go home and run into somebody from high school. Like, so how's Horazio doing? Like, that nigga's grown. He stays 3 hours away. He has a phone number. He has a Facebook page. Like, hit him up. Like, don't ask me, because I think people felt that there was a connection with us, and like they are this energy. They're this togetherness. Even three brothers, like, they always, when I talk to people about the show, they're always asking about you guys, because that energy they sense is not traditional, but I feel like if done right, and also you have to be careful, because you can have, like you said, you can have more than one soulmate. And let's say there's that sexual or intimate soulmate, that energy that you could be like, this person is a potential soulmate, and you're with your soulmate, right? You have to be able to block that energy. Like, you have to be like, whoa, there's a connection. I got to make sure I cut this off, because if I feel like that's why these people, they'll be in a full-fledged marriage and completely fall in love with this other person. Byron does not like it. He doesn't. Come on, Byron, give us what you got.
Man, a couple of things. One, if there is a such thing as soulmate, there's a lot of motherfuckers getting that shit wrong.
I agree.
Because
Agreed.
it's so many times. Well, we got the voice. I thought he was my soulmate. I thought she was my soulmate, but like,
But
if there's a such thing as a soulmate, and you guys have the same fate as these regular relationships, then what's the point? Like, what's the point? If it's possible to be with your soulmate and y'all still separate some kind of way, or it doesn't work, then what's the difference in a regular relationship? Why do we even fantasize and romanticizing soulmates if it's just the same as any other? And then I also think it's misused a lot of times, and it's
that's
soulmates are definitely used for accepting toxic behavior, abuse, doing things you shouldn't be doing. Like you mentioned, you can be with your soulmate, but there's another soulmate out there. People use that as an excuse. Well, I never thought I'd step out on my marriage, but they're my soulmate, and it's meant to be. Like, that's a bunch of bullshit, and it's used as an excuse to do. It's no different. I liken it to religious people that do what they want to do and say, "Well, that's what God wanted me to do. That's what God told me to do." It's bullshit to me.
so. I think there's a couple of things. I think you answer your second question kind of answered your first. I think people use it in wrong kind. People are going out there until this conversation, and maybe even yesterday. I don't even know. I said it yesterday. Like, I've never called Z my soulmate. I've never said that publicly. Never thought about it. I just felt like, if you listen to me and Z or something like that,
you just did, didn't you?
I just said until now.
Oh, okay.
Like, this might have been the first time we've been together for going on since 2008. I've never called her I never thought about it like that until we had the conversation yesterday, and I thought about why we work. And I think, and I've said this before, I think about people I dated in the past. I probably could have married a number of them because I liked them. We were good together, but it wasn't the same connection. And I think that's where a lot of people end up going. They things look good on paper, and you can marry and work without a soulmate. I don't feel like it's a necessity. Like I said, I've never called or thought about Z. I never in my whole life went out searching for my soulmate. I think that's the thing. When people are going out looking for that quote unquote soulmate, and they just like, okay, oh, she's my soulmate, I'm gonna give her this. He's my soulmate, I'm gonna give, like, yeah, you're bound to make mistakes. The reason I don't feel like I made a mistake is because I wasn't going out looking for my soulmate. Like, the same like when people go out dating, well, you can always find somebody to date. You can always find somebody to fall in love with. Is that the right person? Not necessarily. I think, like you said, I think people use the word soulmate so loosely. People are looking for it, and then there's sometimes people can't control it because you could be married to somebody that you really love, and then there could be somebody that you're better connected with. Period. Now, do you step out on your marriage? That's a whole nother conversation. I don't condone cheating, period. I don't judge people, I don't condone it.
It's the use of it, right? Like, if you say soulmate and don't add in the relationship sexual aspect of it, I think it broadens and frees up what you can really mean by that's my soulmate. Because I've again, going back to, I feel like you guys are my soulmates for certain things, right? For friendship and everything like that. I feel like you can have these soulmates and many people say, oh, this is my soulmate, we have to be in a relationship, when maybe the relationship part isn't what they're there for. Maybe they're there to be a friend, right? Maybe they're there to help you in a business aspect. Maybe they're there to be on an entrepreneurial tip and be like, hey, this is my soulmate for business or whatever. We can go and we can make beautiful businesses together, but we can never be in a relationship together. So I feel like the term soulmate has just been blown out of proportion. And now everybody's like looking for that soulmate in a relationship. And truthfully, I think that's where a lot of issues come in with marriages. People marry for love, but then they don't think about anything else past that. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in love with them. That's my soulmate. But they beat me every once in a while. Or yeah, they aren't doing anything with their life. Or yeah, they aren't doing that. Like, yeah, they may be your soulmate from friendship, talking relationship, but y'all can't be in a actual monogamous relationship together because that's not what they're there for. That's not what they're there in your life for.
Or neither one of y'all are ready or prepared to, you're put in a bad situation. You're not equipped to handle the level of whatever comes with that relationship. And I think a lot of times that's...
Yeah. And ladies, if they're beating you, they're not your soulmate. We'll just throw it out there.
Yeah. So, Razi, you seem like you're way more open to multiple soulmates than I am. To me, I don't think it's that many people. I think there's certain things like I look at like musically or something, like when certain people get together, like it's going to creatively, they make great music together. When it's just like it's unmatched, their energies are in line. Like, you listen to stories like, man, we got in the studio together. I didn't have to say anything to her. She didn't have to say anything. And it just clicked. I think there's certain people where that energy, when they put that energy together, it just produces more. Now, can you manage that? That's up to the individuals. Are they prepared to manage everything that comes with it? I'm not romanticizing about the soulmate thing. I think it could be on a relationship level, a friendship level, like you said, business. I never thought about it like that. Business level, I think your artistry, there's I think certain things when they connect, and it's unmatched. And I think it's just part of it's because of the energy you guys have when you get together.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those.
I agree with Byron on in the traditional sense of a soulmate is bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. I don't believe in that.
I think it's something that we as human beings need to believe in.
I don't.
That there's somebody out there for us.
Yeah, it's just something that you like. Is just some people need to believe in, and that helps them. And I don't knock that. I know people that I love and respect that actually believe in this and believe in twin flames and soulmates. And hey, I'm not here to knock anybody's belief. That's just, but it's how I feel. I don't.
Yeah. So I would you like, I don't believe there's like preordained soulmates. I don't feel like there's like, all right, there are 27 people out there right now that are for soulmates. Like, I don't believe in that. Like, there's just, can you find those 27? I feel like we're just made of energy, like, and if your energies connect, it's like, damn, this is.
Is it possible for person A to think person B is their soulmate, but person B not feel that way about person A?
Yeah, especially if they have that romanticized, depends on their definition of soulmate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, if you're looking at it a certain way, just like it's possible somebody to be in love with somebody else and think this is their future, da da da. It's like, I'm here just for the nanny, right? Like, we ain't even in a relationship, and in your mind, you're in a full-fledged relationship, and y'all about to get married. It happens. Yeah, perception of reality don't always, usually, rarely are aligned. So,
good question, man. Very good question. I fully expect to be attacked, by the way.
No, bro. Let's clear it up. I'm with Byron. I do not believe there's that one or two people out in the world that just you're preordained to marry or whatever the case may be. If that's your belief, fine. It is what it is. But I don't believe in that in a traditional sense at all.
No, I mean, we parting shots.
Yep.
Let's do it. All I want to say is, if you don't have a foam back roller at 40 years old, you're missing out. Man, my back, I get up and I'm like, oh, my back hurt. The foam back roller is the business. So go to Amazon, grab you one. They have the little actual balls too that you can get all in your spine with it and everything. It's great. So yeah, go get one of those and try it out. Let me know how it works out, because it's really helping my back.
You sound so old. We are so old, bro. I got two things actually. One, there was a post that I shared that got a lot of attention, and it turned out that it was somebody from Mobile, and the post was, "Wow, I've truly been wrong for so many years. Michael really is the most famous, but Beyonce definitely performs better. Mike can't even dance. Chris Brown or James Brown winning that." And I saw it on Twitter, and they were going in on the comments. So I shared it on my page, and people went in on the comments. Come to find out, She's a young lady from Mobile that one of the people that commented on the post knew. They tagged her. She came on, and I just want to give her a shout out to Zakara Thomas. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She was a good sport. She took all the jokes. She responded to some of them. She was like, hey, she stands by what she said. She wasn't trolling. She was like, all Michael Jackson could do was the moonwalk. My 2-year-old son can do that. And somebody pointed out, but he did the robot. And she was like, the robot is a dance that we make fun of white people doing. So she stood by what she said, and she was a good sport about the jokes. So I'm always looking for the funny, and I posted it. It got a lot of laughs, and I was glad that she was able to take it in stride as well. The other thing is, there's a show on HBO Max called Scenes from a Marriage. Now, I'm not recommending this show.
Hold on. Can we stop before you go on to your other point and just
we got something to say.
Solidify the fact that
this could have been a whole question.
Okay.
because she's wrong. Can we all agree she's wrong?
Can we?
I will say
I like outside the box thinking.
Yeah, I will say the dances that Michael did are commonplace now. But Michael, when he brought them to the forefront, they were groundbreaking. They were ground shattering. So to say he can't dance because he brought dances that were just coming on the scene that you think are common now, that doesn't align. Like, Michael could dance. It was just that he just wasn't dancing the way we dance today because dance moves have evolved.
Go watch Smooth Criminal. Just tell her to go watch Smooth Criminal. Like, his choreography is dope. Like, just to see the way he moves and the crispness and all of this stuff, like, to never have been formally trained or anything like that.
It's a hot take. It's a hot take.
He's definitely a better dancer than Beyonce, hands down.
Yeah.
Beyonce only has a few moves. I said it.
Okay. I don't have a dog in the fight. Okay. I wasn't Michael Jackson is the king, but I wasn't a huge fan of his. He was cool.
Was Tabitha ready to fight her? I feel like Tabitha was ready to fight her, though.
I don't even know. She saw the post. I don't even know.
Oh, man. Yeah, because I know she was a big Michael Jackson fan.
The other point was HBO Max has I guess it's like a 5-part series. It's based off a movie. It has the same name, Scenes from a Marriage. I'm not recommending the show. You definitely can check it out because it's mostly like the majority of the show is like dialogue. It's like the husband and wife just going back and forth. There's like there's not a whole bunch of scene changes and things like that. But it's gotten interesting this past second episode. And just real quick, the wife came home from her trip and she told her husband that she's in love with another man. And basically, the things that she was revealing, it was a part of me that was like, yo, if he hits her right now, man, I'm not saying he should, but like she was going there. She was like, I'm leaving. He was like, how long are you going to be going for? She was like, I'm be going for 3 months. And he was like still begging her to stay. It's hard for me to explain. Anybody that's seen the show, you get it. Just check it out if you want to. But I just thought it was interesting how she cheated on him and he still was in the position of begging her to stay. And it just brought out a lot of emotions in me. So I just wanted to mention that show. It's not a show that I can quite recommend because I don't know how interesting it'll be to some people, but just the storyline in the first 2 episodes is real interesting to me.
Is it one of those shows that had you walking around mad for the rest of the day?
Not the rest of the day, but
it's just like,
I was sitting there I'm like, dude, have some respect for yourself. Like, she was like he helped her pack her bag.
Oh,
go on this trip to with this other dude, and they have like a daughter together. He was like, so what about our daughter? She was like, I'll fly back on the weekend and spend time with. Like, she basically pretty much said, I'm choosing dick over my daughter. That's pretty much what she did. Like, it wasn't no like, we're going to work up to it. It's like, I'm in love with this dude. I'm leaving tomorrow and I'm going to be gone for 3 months.
Was it her soulmate?
And by the way, you tell our daughter, because she couldn't bring herself to tell her. She's like, I just can't. It just hurt her so bad. I can't do it. Can you do it for me? She asked her husband to tell their daughter about her affair. Man. Yeah, I guess it was her soulmate for her. I guess so.
Yeah, so you weren't looking at Tabitha crazy for the rest of the day, were you? You know,
Tabitha was actually, she was agreeing with me. She was like,
you know, that's how women be sitting there. They'll watch the show and like,
Yeah.
so
She's like,
would you
crazy.
stay with me if I cheated on you? Like, how do we get here? Like,
and that's the thing. Like, I was like, there is like she didn't give him the option to say I'll stay with you. It was like, I'm telling you I cheated on you, but I'm not telling you so you'll take me back. I'm letting you know I'm leaving.
I'm gone. Yeah. Tell Sarah my man coming home no more.
Yeah.
Man, that's horrible. Wow. That just blew my mind. So mine is really quick. Razi, I did go back and look at the Van Gogh, the immersive experience, because I was looking at it before. I kept getting emails and stuff like that. There's actually 2, so make sure you're going to figure out which one you're going to. There's Van Gogh, the immersive experience, and there's the immersive experience Van Gogh, something like that. Like, it's just they put the name in front of the other. But we went yesterday. It's pretty dope. It took about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to go through the whole exhibit. I don't know which one you're seeing, but it's well worth it. Very entertaining. I don't know if you were going by yourself or you can take the kids with you, but it's a pretty cool concept. So appreciate you reminding me of that, because I had looked into it and I looked at the wrong one, and the dates are coming in November. So I kept postponing buying my ticket. And then when I went to look at it the other day, I ended up looking up the right one. So they're like right behind each other. Okay. I don't know which one you're going to, but it's pretty cool. Especially if you do the VR. I want VR goggles, by the way. So if anybody wants to get me something for my 41st birthday.
Oculus just came out with a new set. So, yeah, I was looking at them.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. So, all right, that's all I got. Close with this. Hey, if you're listening to the show for the first time, please subscribe, share with some friends. If you're listening to the show for the 106th time, is that what episode we're on?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you subscribe, share with some friends, tell your coworkers about it. We're just trying to grow the podcast, and we also want feedback. So if you're listening to the show today, I ask everybody after you listen to the show, drop a quick comment to let us know what you think. And if there's any questions or things you want us to talk about moving forward, feel free to ask the brothers. But we're just doing a kind of temperature check. Want to see how you guys are liking the show out there. So 3 Brothers No Sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.